Alright, great to see you again. This is Reverend Chris de la Cruz, and I'm here with the First Church Daily Inspirational Message. And we've been talking about my sermon this past Sunday, Matthew 7, 24 to 29. And it was based off this idea that when we build our lives on what Jesus says and then do it, that is the most fulfilling life you can have. That is the life that you should set all your priorities toward. And we were talking about how God's character really is about grace. And so what God says to us is grace. You know, I feel like Christians sometimes separate God's commands and grace, right, in our minds, right? So God's grace is forgiveness, we say, but we have to then do these things, and these commands are hard. But we have to remember that the commands of Jesus themselves are a gift. They themselves are God's grace. I mean, listen to the beautiful words of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, right? Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the meek. You are the light of the world. Love your enemies. Turn the other cheek. Judge not, lest ye be judged. We want a world where people do these things. And God is gifting us with the opportunity to make this world a reality, right? By doing what Jesus says. Right, I really believe that a lot of what's going wrong in the world right now is because people are building their foundation on sinking sand rather than on what Jesus teaches. Right? We have a president who has been sucking up the energy of everyone and everything around him, and he'd rather target black athletes and minorities and ban people from countries that are majority Muslim from coming into the country, banning refugees, rather than deal with the problems of this country. And sadly, I believe that many people who profess to be Christian are actually building their lives on his words and leadership, which is really just sinking sand. Our country has been building on a foundation of targeting minorities and women and stirring up fear. But this is exactly the time when we need people who build their lives on hearing what Jesus says and then do it. This world would be transformed if we knew the God of grace and did what the God of grace told us to do. So what are the ways in which you see the world crumbling on sinking sand? And how can you, whether you alone or you as part of the church community, go out? How can we do that and represent and be God's grace for the world? Thank you so much. See you tomorrow.